Unless you're still using a fax machine or the printing press, there's a good chance that you've accumulated digital assets over your lifetime, and you may not even know that you own them. If you're under the age of 25, you likely already know what digital assets are. They can be anything from cryptocurrency to NFTs, which are those digital pictures of art that sold for millions and now they're down 90+%. Sorry, Justin. In all seriousness, in the new world of technology, our digital footprints continue to grow. Some digital assets can have a significant personal, professional, or financial value attached to them. It's important to recognize and understand what digital assets you own and the risks and obstacles your loved ones may face when trying to access them. So, let's make sure you're a digital ninja when it comes to estate planning. If we haven't met before, my name's Devon Rice, and I'm a financial planner at Rankin Wealth Management. Let's get into what exactly are digital assets and why should they matter to you. A digital asset is generally something you purchased, created, or stored digitally that holds some sort of value to you, either from a financial or sentimental standpoint. Digital assets is a really broad-ranging term, so it can mean so many different things. Simple things like loyalty programs like Aeroplan and Air Miles, emails, social media accounts, digital artwork, personal or professional digital photographs, digital products, website domains, and of course, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Photographs that are held digitally could hold commercial value, or sentimental like me and my dog Cashew. Some digital assets are a lot easier to evaluate and put a price tag on, like Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. Other digital assets are a lot harder to put a dollar value on, due to sentimental reasons or them being so unique or one of a kind. Something else that doesn't necessarily have a price tag attached to it, but can hold a lot of your personal information and history, is something as easy as your email accounts. Email accounts contain a wealth of personal and professional information, from communications to potential valuable data or intellectual property. Another thing to consider with digital assets is the amount of information that they could provide on your private life that we really haven't had to consider before this digital age. Understand your private information and what is actually out there in the world. So if you're part of the Illuminati and you want to keep that a secret, you better make sure that digital assets are part of your estate plan. If your will's up to date, the majority of your assets should pass through to your estate to the named beneficiaries with relative ease. However, estate planning with digital assets can create some unique challenges. This can make it a little bit more difficult for your executor to manage those digital assets. They may not know where they are, or even if they do, they may not be able to access them. We've seen scenarios where children all receive equal shares from the estate from a dollar perspective, but there was a falling out or fight over sentimental items from their parents' house. These are scenarios that could happen with digital assets. So take that into consideration when you're naming beneficiaries for certain digital assets. There are several obstacles your executor may face when they're dealing with the digital asset component of your estate. Are these digital assets password protected, encrypted, or stored somewhere where no one else but you would really only be able to find them? Depending on where your digital assets are stored, your executor is going to need to know where and how to log in or access these different assets. Now, the solution is definitely not to start writing down all your passwords on sticky notes. Canada's privacy laws continue to evolve with this rapidly changing digital world that we now live in. Now, some companies and online access providers are still prohibiting executors from being able to access all of the digital assets out there. If something happened to you today, would your family members or your loved ones receiving those digital assets be able to access them? Or would they have to go to court or jump through hula hoops to find login information or password? It's okay if the answer is no. I'm going to share some easy tips that you can implement for your digital assets to make sure that your family doesn't run into any hurdles. The first one, make sure your will's up to date and that digital assets are specifically addressed in it. The executor is given both the explicit authority to administer digital assets and instructions on their transfer or destruction. Again, otherwise companies could reject access. My partner and I used Willful to create our wills online, and I actually pulled them up to make sure that ours had a clause for digital assets in it, which it did. If your will doesn't have a clause or anything in writing about digital assets, make sure you speak with a lawyer that specializes in estate planning. Number 2, create a list of all your digital assets. This one sounds obvious, but Do you have a list? Because I didn't before making this video. On the list, make sure to include login instructions or other details that are necessary to even access these digital assets. You can create a list with something as easy as using a spreadsheet, or what we've suggested to clients is using something called a will companion that you put with the will, and it will have different information for accounts, logins, bank account statements. This is a great way to consolidate everything onto one document. Number 3, a password manager. Don't include all your passwords for each login, because typically they make you reset them, or you've reset them over time and it may not be updated within that document or list that you're using. With a password manager, you really only need to know one password. This would be a lot easier for your executor to access the multiple different accounts or digital assets if they only require one password. Use a free or inexpensive password manager. You can Google and find multiple different ones. Now, make sure that password to the password manager is very safe and a very complicated password, because that's essentially the keys to the kingdom. So you definitely don't want anyone gaining access to everything unless you were to pass away. Number 4, is there a backup? If these digital assets are highly prized, you want to make sure that you have a backup. What if something goes missing, or you get logged out, or something gets deleted? You need to have these backup solutions for your executor or for yourself in the future. We also live in a digital era where a lot of our devices are replaced every couple of years. So keep that in mind. If you're storing a lot of information on a computer or an old smartphone that could be replaced within a couple of years, you shouldn't rely solely on cloud or offline storage. They both can be destroyed, deleted, or lost. Number 5, adding legacy contacts. For instance, social media accounts like Facebook can hold personal data, their history, and memories attached to them. To avoid nasty court battles, some of the internet companies are now letting you provide a legacy contact. For example, Facebook lets you assign a legacy contact. You can choose for the legacy contact to look after your account and your memories, or to permanently delete your Facebook account altogether. Adding legacy contacts can reduce the stress and anxiety that your executor may go through when dealing with your estate and the digital assets. Finally, loyalty programs. Look into the different loyalty and point systems that you're a part of. If something were to happen to you tomorrow, could you transfer those assets, or do they die with you? For example, with Aeroplan, the named beneficiary of the late member's estate can fill out some documents to transfer those points to their Aeroplan account. The same is relevant with Air Miles. However, there are some point systems that forfeit your points at death. So make sure you look into that further. One that I spotted is PC Optimum if there isn't a second name on the card. Consideration for digital assets is necessary when it comes to estate planning now. The last thing you want is your grieving loved ones and family members fighting in a court battle or spending money to get access to these digital assets. Consult with a lawyer that specializes in estate planning. Consider who you appoint as your executor. Do they have the digital know-how to access these digital assets, or are they going to need some help? On the bright side, digital assets is an excellent reason for you to think about what matters most to you in life. It lets you prioritize sharing what matters most to your family members so it can potentially last for generations. Thanks for watching. Hey there, thanks again for watching this video. If you want to watch more videos like this, subscribe to our channel where we're going to be releasing new videos constantly with burning questions our clients have, or what's happening in the world, or educational. If you want to learn more about Rankin Rice Wealth Management and the services that we offer for our clients, go to our website. We'd love to set up a call and see if we can help you on your financial journey.